2415.
First and foremost, I'd like to welcome you to my channel, True Drill TV. I'd like to start off by saying, I'm not jumping on this wave of drill music. I am feeling it a lot. It's actually brought me back to want to produce beats again for many reasons. I want to go over a little brief history. I was fortunate enough to move to London as an American in the mid-90s when hip hop was, blowing up in America. And I lived there for over a decade and going to see the music scene over there in the UK. That's the first place I ever been to where, 4,000 people will wait in line to get in a club. And I remember hearing this song inside the club, right? The song was called Firestarter by The Prodigy. And I never heard anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like some shit out of like the Blade movie with Wesley Snipes and shit. You know what I mean? Like it was just like the synths and this high energy and then the drums and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I'm saying? And I seen everybody I'm talking about like dancing like crazy and shit. And I was like, fuck, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? And at that time, I got involved with the lifestyle that was going on over there. I remember standing at the bar and shit, because in America, we like to buy out the bar and all this shit, and I'll see white people coming up to the bar and saying, let me get 10 waters. And I was like, I asked the bartender, I was like, why is everybody going to the bar and buying water? Like, that shit was crazy to me. Like, why would you go to a club and buy water all night? And they was like, it's probably because they're on E's and shit. And I was like, well, what the fuck is E's? And, anybody who knows that scene at the time, a lot of people was taking the ecstasy tablets and all this shit. And I was like, well, shit, get me one. Let me see what's going on with that. And, after that, I got into the club scene for a little bit and was enjoying the whole new experience and vibe. I'm talking super bad bitches and, from everywhere in the world and just being out of my element and learning some new shit. And that's how that shit went. A brief history of the drill scene. The production style is a mixture of a whole bunch of musics. You know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of EDM, hip hop, drum and bass, dubstep. It's a mixture of all those things, but it's high energy music. And first and foremost, I want to say that I don't condone the violence that comes along with it, but I would like to give a little bit of encouragement to the drill artists. If you guys can think outside of the environment that you come from, you got to understand that because of the high energy beats that you guys are using, if you are fortunate enough to travel around the world with that, that's festival music. We're talking 50, 60,000 people where you can actually get a bag and make something out of your life if you stop taking it from the studio to the streets. I am an advocate for drill music. Now, people be like, why you say that? With all the things that's going on, with all the violence and everything that's associated with it. Let's be honest. It's the voice of the youth. These are voices from people who grew up without fathers. These are voices for people who grow up in some of the most austere conditions that you could be around. They're frustrated. A lot of them grow up, because I was one of those kids myself. A lot of them grow up thinking, don't nobody give a fuck about me anyways, so I don't give a fuck about the next motherfucker either. I understand the motives behind what they're doing. When we was growing up, we had shit like the Boys Club and all kind of shit where you can go play pool and swim in and do all that shit. And, we still ended up in the streets. So I get where they're coming from. And a lot of people demonize the experience of minority youth. And it's not fair to take a voice away from them. Now, I understand that a lot comes along with that, gun violence and all that other stuff. You got to ask yourself, do these young kids make guns in their bedrooms? Are they supplying themselves with guns? They got to come from somewhere, especially in New York City, because I lived in New York. You know what I'm saying? There's no gun stores there. They got to make it to the hood somehow. Now, how they're making it there, who knows? But you got to ask yourself, who does it benefit more with these guns coming in here? Who does it benefit more? All you do is put on TV every day that minorities are shooting other minorities, but, we got Brian Laundrie who, killed his girlfriend. I mean, I can go down a list of people. I mean, that lawyer dude in South Carolina who had, his family killed, and, he's running fraud and doing all this other stuff and covering shit up. I mean, there's so much other stuff going on, but it seems like it's easier to focus on what's going on in the minority community. I'm just gonna get that off my chest right now. There's gun violence everywhere. It is not just young black youths who rap who are doing that. And this is nothing new. They did the same shit when NWA came out. Before they had the 18 advisory on the tapes and shit, because when we was growing up, we could get the tapes, just go to the store and buy them, and then your parents hear you listening to that shit, and they would be like, "What is this? Why are you letting kids listen to this?" So it's actually my generation who's responsible for putting that type of stuff on wax. Boom. You ask yourself this: well, why would you want this hyper violent music on the radio? Why would you want this hyper violent stuff, period? I mean, a voice is a voice, People are going to relate to it. It is what it is. But I ask this question: how come, and this is not about race, it's about fact, how come Jewish people and white people are allowed to put hyper violent movies like Saw and all this kind of crazy shit for people to look at? Why are they allowed to make video games like Mortal Kombat where you got death moves and all you see is blood on the screen? Are they solely responsible for the violence in the community just because of the music they're making? Is that a legitimate question? Because I don't think so. I don't think that it's the music, solely the music. You got games where you can kill people virtually. They're coming out with the metaverse where you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do virtually. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes are talking about real shit. And that's where I sit with that. But let me go a little bit into what I feel about the actual music and, how I felt the wave was coming, because I actually seen this wave coming. I really did. I seen the wave coming when I lived in London in the early 2000s. I was a producer, a hip hop artist. I went by the name of AKA Nobody. So if anybody's listening from London and they was around in that era, they know I was down, with our crew who was doing Show Some Love at Ruby Low. I was going around to all the venues and performing and doing all that other stuff. So I was there at the birthplace, and we're just talking about the sound. Props go to Chicago for starting the actual term drill music, and I got turned on to that when I came back to the States in the mid 2000s. But the actual sound that's coming out of New York City right now, it's not actually from New York, it's actually from the UK. And these beats have been around for a while now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it actually started off with a genre of music called grime. And I was there to see the transition of the UK coming up with their own style of, I can't even say hip hop because it's not hip hop, but it was urban music, youth music, high energy youth music, and it was grime. And they used to have this artist named Crazy Titch. Let me look some of this stuff up real quick. Yeah, and dudes like Kano. I remember Kano. I know they're gonna say he went commercial, but there was a young dude named Dizzy Rascal. I remember, before Skepta became famous, I think Skepta was one of the first dudes to make a grime beat, and I mean, there's a list of dudes. You just type in Google and look at UK grime. But I was there during that transition when there was transferring from making American style hip hop to formulating their own urban music. And they used to have this TV channel called Channel U, right? And it would be like all the homemade videos, and the videos look like, to me, they was looking like when Wu-Tang Clan did Method Man on top of the building, just like budget, high energy videos, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, this is gonna be a wave. And because of all the dudes I was messing with was into traditional hip hop, they wasn't feeling, even the English dudes, some of the English dudes I was with who was more like hip hop purists was like, no, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. That shit is whack and all that. But I could just feel the energy because, those dudes over there got so many influences. They got the dance music, they got the the reggae. A lot, most of the, I ain't gonna say all, but most of the black dudes over there is either second, they're first generation English people, second generation Jamaican. They got island parents and stuff like that, and you could see the movement, and I could see that movement. So what's known right now as New York drill, that's actually it is actually UK drill music. You know what I'm saying? And you could go back and look at some of the artists and check this out for yourself. I'm not making it up. They just started using, I think one of the first dudes to use like a English beat was that went big was Panda. They've been producing like that for years over there. That's nothing new to them. It's just now making its way. So shout out to my boys in the UK. Like I said, I had the opportunity to, I lived on the West Coast, the East Coast. I'm from the Midwest, and I lived in the UK for over a decade. So, I like to give a shout out to my people over there, the ones who know me and the ones who know I'm telling the truth. They've been making beats like that for fucking years over there. You know what I'm saying? They're just making its way back over here. Now to the NY drill artists out there, man, I just want to give you a little bit of encouragement and say you gotta pay attention to what's going on right now. I mean, all press is good press. If you got a situation where you're sitting down with the mayor talking about your music, it's because it's making a lot of noise. Now you can take this opportunity. You can take this opportunity, seize the moment, and you can mark my words, you can make something crazy happen in your life right now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gotta stay out the streets. Now that's easier said than done when y'all talking that shit on the records. I get that. You know what I'm saying? If you say something, you gotta be able to back it up. I get it. But to everybody who's involved, you gotta ask yourself, what's more important? Getting out of your situation or keeping it so real that you gotta have your face on a t-shirt, all right? That's all I'm gonna say for now. Again, welcome to my channel, 2 Drill TV. I'd like to thank the New York artists and the UK influence for making me excited again and wanting to get back into making beats. I'm gonna be dropping a few beats on here on this channel. If you want to lease or buy any of my beats, hit me up. I'm getting the website built right now. It's gonna be 2drill.com. For anybody who's thinking about, oh, yo, that's a good idea, don't worry. I trademark everything I do before I started out and get it up and fully running. So you'll see I already got a patent. I already got a trademark pending on it. So, you're not going to steal my idea or do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I got a website coming where I'll be talking about the scene and letting you guys communicate with each other and building a niche platform for artists who finding it hard to get the music out and all that other stuff. I want to support the wave, for a lot of people who don't understand, the more people that's in the studio, the less people there are out on the street. That is the way it is, I will say this, if you look at all the bullshit that they were talking about, Snoop and Dr. Dre and NWA and all this other shit, the goal is to understand that you too have the ability to go from nothing to make something out of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because these dudes performed at the Super Bowl halftime, and there was a lot of people mad about that. And you gotta ask yourself why, because they don't want to see you shine. So don't let nobody stop your glow up, for real. That's the best advice I can give you. You know what I'm saying? If there's any artists out there that wanna, you can snatch the beat or whatever else and shoot me a demo. I don't care. I'm out here with the purpose. My purpose ain't only to make money off of poor people. So if you got something going on, let me know. I'm not just trying to fuck with a New York artist. Anybody who's feeling the beats and want to jump on it. I've been watching a lot of videos. Mimo 600 out of Chicago. That nigga got high energy like a black rock star. So you know what I mean, Mimo. If you listen to this, get at me, bro. I got some beats for you. At any rate, let me know what's going on. Let me know how you feel about it. I don't really want to do the whole, it seems like everybody's like, you like and subscribe and hit the notification button and all that other shit. If you like what I'm saying, you know what to do, but stay tapped in and I'll get back at you.